Hello and welcome to this ghostly tale. The events what I'm going to tell you about started to unfold on the night of Friday the 6th of October 1854 on the riverbanks near the Tyne Bridge. In 1854 there was a new mill which had been built. This was to replace the old mill what had previously burned down the year before. Now, on the night of Friday the 6th of October, the fire brigades of Newcastle were alerted that there had been a fire broke out in the mill near the Tyne Bridge. The fire brigades went out to fight the fire, and when they got there they saw that the mill was in full blaze. Even the roof was on fire. They fought as best they could to put this fire out, but because of the heat, a warehouse next door also was ignited with flames. Now this warehouse stored sulphur, and as the sulphur started to get hot, blue flames of melted sulphur started to pour out the windows and out the door. The fire brigade left, tried to put the fire out in the mill, and started to concentrate on the warehouse next door to the mill. Now, with such a big event happening, this drew a big crowd who stood watching on the riverside and also on the Tyne Bridge. The crowd was massive, and as the fire brigade tried to put out the fire, there was a little explosion within the warehouse. The fire brigade and the crowd didn't take much notice of this, and the crowd carried on watching, and the fire brigade carried on trying to put the fire out. A second rumble within the warehouse should have warned both the fire brigade and the crowd standing by that there was something more than just sulphur stored in the building. Again, they just carried on trying to put the fire out, and the crowd carried on watching. There was a third and final rumble, and the explosion was said to be heard 20 miles away. Whatever had been stored in the basement of the warehouse had ignited and exploded. Buildings close by were demolished or set afire. Walls crumbled, and it was said there was at least 56 people lost their lives that day, and hundreds more were injured of the crowds watching. Now, the ghost story linked to this is that on calm nights near the river, there's people who've seen the faces, said to be the faces of the 59 people who were killed or injured on that night. They say as they sit and watch, and as the tide slowly comes in or goes out, every person who died that night is seen on the river. Near to where the Tuxedo Royal used to sit, the Tuxedo boat used to sit many years ago as a nightclub, some bouncers said that they, many a night, would, as they were watching over the river at quiet times, would see in the water on quiet nights when the river wasn't in full force, the faces of the people going down the river. People who walk, or fishermen, also say that at many nights, on quiet nights when the river is quiet, they see these faces, who they say of the dead from the Great Fire of Newcastle, going down the river. Maybe if you're feeling brave enough, maybe one night you could brave to go to Newcastle and stand on the riverbanks and see if you can see the ghosts of the victims of the fire from the Great Fire of Newcastle, 1854.